question a human being has to answer is, who or what am I? I had experiences on the stage that I didn't think were possible. And then a strange thing happened. On the stage, I was complete and perfect, lacking no essential characteristic, nothing. The curtain came down, and who am I? Who am I? Identity has something to do with the nature of love, the degree of it that you're able to absorb into your being. That's my daddy. I wish I could tell you his name, his African name. I wish I could tell you who he was, because he remembered something of who he was. Something of who we were lingered in my family's memory. Something of that primordial history. When we came up from the sea, or down from the skies, or wherever, my father remembered something, and so did my mother. Not in the language, not in words, but enough to know that we did not live by the same code that other people live by. The Western ideas of fragmentation was unable to alter my father's sense of wholeness, his sense of unity. And I think we were the only family that I remember that called themselves black. Everybody else was colored, and most people were Negroes, but we were black. And I thank him. Oh, I thank you for that. I'm so grateful. I'm not afraid of the dark. He was a minister, a preacher, they call him. My father was a poet. He was a good poet. He sang his sermons. He sang them. There was a truth. It has a ring, they say, that makes the hair stand on end, or the skin, or the goosebumps jump out, or the chill run down the spine. He had that magic. Oh, if I could have been the kind of actress that my father was, a preacher, ooh. And that's me, Beulah. That's my mother. I don't know where she came from. She still puzzles me. This woman, I don't know where she came from. She's pretty, isn't she? Pretty? I don't mean pretty. I mean pretty. My mother didn't want to bring children into this world. Not this world. And one time when the anguish was really more than I could bear, I looked at her and said, why in God's name would you have children? What are you going to tell them? What are you going to do? How can I come to my mother and tell her that this is happening and this is happening and there's nothing she can do? And I'm dying inside, and I don't want to tell her because I don't want to see her hurting and aching like I am. Why would you have children? Whatever for? Unless you have some words to tell them that's going to help them. You know. She said she didn't want to have children. She married an old man. so she only had 3. Ah, heaven is merciful, isn't it? Lovely woman. She takes her life on giving us an education.
There was no place for the spirit of an artist to soar outside her circumscribed circle. But what is wonderful is that it was a place that recognized her talent right away, early on.
You always knew that Beulah was going to be an actress or a dancer because that's all what she expressed she wanted to be.
I was a playwright, I was a poet, I was a dancer, I was an orator. When you're open, anybody tells you anything, you can do it. The legacy of Mississippi was to give me as much of the culture from which I sprung, our ancestors, that culture that let you know you are self-created.
What then is black that it should be redefined? Black is the form of forms, the womb of infinity, out of which all things come and to which they in time return. It contains all things without distinction. In its deep pitch, the seed of life begins. From its dark down comes healing sleep. To its merciful ink, consciousness flees pain. From its infinite reach comes the light of day. Black plague, black list, Black Sunday, black market notwithstanding.
This video raises some questions, and I need for you to be as honest as possible when answering them in the comments. This is Miss Beulah Elizabeth Richardson, better known as Beah Richards. And just so you know, there are 3 questions. Number 1. What was your favorite Beah Richards movie? For me, it was In the Heat of the Night with Sidney Poitier in the movie Beloved. Number 2. Before this video, have you ever heard of Beah Richards? And number 3. Who was the most famous person to come from your hometown? Now please be honest when answering these questions in the comments. Share this video with anyone you deem necessary, and don't forget to like and subscribe.